You know, when you buy a computer on eBay and it gets shipped and it arrives, this is not exactly the sign that you want to see on the top of the box. Kind of disheartening. But we'll have to see, won't we? It's part of the fun. Fortunately, nothing appears to actually be broken. And that's a good thing. Nothing's bent. The legs are fine. The top is fine. The handles are fine. Actually, it's a very, very good condition case. Now, the eBay seller packed it up with these foam things, cut up foam, taped to the bottom of the feet, bottom of the computer, and on the handles. That's a really good idea because when the damage occurs, you remember this, it'll either be the handles remember this guy here with the feet. All right. Now, you may wonder, why am I buying all these Mac Pros? I had this idea. Okay, if I can find an inexpensive Mac Pro with an intact case and a functioning logic board, I could move all the components from that machine into this machine. And then fixes, as it were, the bent leg. This one was a fail. But yes, what makes a computer or Mac Pro inexpensive? Well, it's usually because there's something wrong with it, although the prices are going down now that the computer is out of support. So let's have a look. Case is fine. Door comes right off. Stock ATI Radeon graphics again. Single CPU tray, which is not a problem, of course. If I follow through on this, I'm going to put the dual tray into it. There's only one DIMM of RAM in there, and it's from the listing. It's an 8 GB stick. I've never seen one with only one stick of RAM in there, so I'm thinking this machine has had some things taken out. For instance, there are two missing drive sleds. The first bay does have a drive in it. Seagate Barracuda, 3 terabytes. That's going to be a good thing to have. It's a good drive. Okay. Empty sled. Well, I'm going to put that down because things are going to be happening to this anyway. Yes, there is in fact an optical drive in there. So I'm guessing that with this computer, they're probably, the empty sled here is actually number 4. It was just stuck back in the number 1 space. Okay. So that it makes me think there were probably 2 other drives in this. Aha, and that's number 3. So it's the first and second sleds that have been removed, and I'm betting that they had other drives, either hard drives, maybe an SSD too. When the system was actually being run. They left 1 stick of RAM. There may have been 3 others. This was probably running 32 gig at one point. Nothing in the other PCIe slots. I don't know if it's ever been taken out, so I'm not sure that they did that. Now, I know for a fact, I'm just going to take that out. I know for a fact that, assuming that the pictures in the listing, where he included screenshots of about this Mac, this machine has run High Sierra. There is evidently, again, I'm just going by the listing, the drive has been wiped clean. So there's no operating system on it. Now, if I follow through on this, and I'm still hesitating a little bit, reason being, I mean, this computer is just running so beautifully. Right now it's up on Catalina. I've also got Mojave on there where I do most of the actual work. One thing I did do, because I've already started this, basically we're looking at 3 Mac Pros, and by mixing and matching the various parts, I propose to come up with 2 very well running Mac Pros. And I've already done this. That SSD that was originally in here, I have put, I've wiped them all clean, as you'll remember. I have put that over there, and right now I cloned my Catalina installation over onto that, because I had Catalina up just as a trial on 128 gig Vertex SSD. So I cloned it over to the Crucial SSD, so I will be taking that 128 gig out and probably putting that 3 terabyte hard drive in there, or in this case, if I actually end up moving everything. The one investment I'm probably gonna make would be another AMD Radeon RX 580 graphics card, because they're not terribly expensive, and you need at least that graphics card in order to get Mojave up and running. Now, it needs to have a firmware flash for Mojave. It won't even consider doing that with that graphics card in there. So anyhow, that's the plan. Now, the first thing, we got to make sure this thing works. So I'm going to be taking that same 1 terabyte hard drive that's currently in this machine, that has High Sierra on it. If I'm right, it should just run on this machine, because it at one point was. Once the firmware's been flashed, it stays flashed. You can pull the drives out and do all kinds of things. All right, so we're going to have to see if High Sierra actually runs. And now for the real moment of truth. I have put the upgraded single CPU tray in there, so it's going to have 6 cores at 3.46 gigahertz. I have put a couple of drives in there, so hopefully this thing is going to start up. Well, the light went on. Okay. We're getting video. Never did chime. Okay. It's just taking its time, but it is booting up. And there we go. Yep, so far so good. Now, I've had the foresight this time to connect a microphone, so I should be able to do a screen recording rather than putting the phone on a tripod and having to maneuver around the tripod in order to do anything. But so far so good. Okay, we should be recording now. The keyboard shortcut doesn't work obviously in High Sierra, but you just open QuickTime. That's easy enough. Microphone is connected, so we should be good. Now, all we really need to do here, let's check about this Mac and make sure things are as they should be. All right. Yes, Mac Pro mid 2010, that's what we have. It's got 3.46 gigahertz 6-core Xeon. The 48 gig of RAM are all reading up. ATI Radeon HD 5770, the stock card. All right. It's reading the display just fine. Okay, got 3 hard drives in there. These are the two 1 terabyte Western Digital hard drives, which I took out of the bent up machine, plus the startup drive, a 1 terabyte drive that has got High Sierra on it. Yep, that's the memory installed. 16 gigabytes. I had bought a complete OWC set of memory for the dual processor tray, but I found that if I removed 2 of the sticks, one on each processor side, the computer actually performed better, contrary to what one's brain would tell you is going to happen, but very true nonetheless. All right. So back to overview. Let's look at system report. Yep, everything appears to be there too. Bluetooth. Okay, there is Bluetooth, but low energy support, no handoff support, no instant hotspot support. None of that's going to work. And the other issue, Wi-Fi. Take a sec to populate there. Okay. Yes, the supported modes 802.11 A, B, G, N. No AC. Now it it's going to tell you in here somewhere. Oh yes, a Wacom wireless is supported. AirDrop is supported, but it isn't. Now I don't know why the computer thinks it is, but that I discovered from the other machine. Now I have a plan. In this plan, the one thing that I don't really want to do is take that Wi-Fi card out and the Bluetooth and put it in this machine. That was a pain, and I just as soon not go through that again. Now since the other machine is going to be running, I might as well leave it in there. What I did was to get a PCIe card that should do the trick. It should give wireless AC and Bluetooth 4.1, which is exactly what's needed to get AirDrop and the other aspects of continuity all working on this machine. It'll just be a lot easier. Since I discovered there was no point in having the two Wi-Fi cards in there, might as well do that. So I'm not sure what else we need to look at right now. We're connected to Wi-Fi as it should be. Input sound. You see, it picked up my USB microphone very well. Well, I say very well. Hopefully it actually works. We'll find that out when we're done. Okay. So we're good. I can't think of anything else right now to check on. So where the future is going to be, yes, getting another AMD Radeon 580 graphics card, I think is going to be a must, because other than that, you're stuck on High Sierra. Not that that's a horrible place to be stuck, but there you go. And then we're just going to see where it takes us. Once we've done that and flash the firmware for Mojave, then we'll see. I may actually move all of those things, but we're going to need to see how this machine behaves. Is everything really good? So far, looks great. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me. I think that's going to be a wrap for this particular video. Not a real long one, but to me, interesting stuff. I hope at least a few people out there find it interesting as well. Well, as an addendum to the video, one good thing, there is a boot time. Once I had it booted in, I did go into system preferences and selected the internal speakers, and that was exactly the problem, why there was no boot time. And then it did. A bit of a concern. Of course, I did that screen recording, the last clip before this, on that computer. I needed to transfer it. Well, what does one do when AirDrop is not available, as it isn't on that? Well, of course, you put an external drive in and copy it over. It wouldn't mount. it just plain wouldn't mount. I tried my Samsung T5. I tried a Western Digital Passport. I tried a 32 gig flash drive. Nothing. I restarted the computer. Wouldn't mount. Now, that could be an issue in my plan, but I have absolutely no idea why that's a problem, but well, we'll see. That was the thing I needed to do, get it up and running, work with it for a while, and see if in fact it's going to be something that I'm going to be able to carry through with my plan on. If you can't mount flash drives to those USB 2 ports, that's an issue if you ever needed to boot into a bootable external drive. Well, who knows? You know, the journey's just beginning, and I'm sure I will end up making a video later on with updates as to where we're progressing. I mean, it does run, and runs quite well, seemingly. Oh well, take care. And a day late, Merry Christmas. This was shot on the 26th.